If it weren't for the fans, I wouldn't have made this movie, please.
I want to feel like it's me and them.
You love that.
I love that.
Filming a show can be so grueling and you have to make all these compromises, and it takes a lot of time, and I didn't want to change anything about the show or tarnish the experience at all. And so I think when James came to me with the idea, it was such a unique idea that didn't just seem like a concert film, which I wasn't really interested in doing, and it seemed like something more and something I'd never done and was very appealing. I got on the phone with him, and it just felt like our views of it all really lined up, and the way that he saw it made me feel really seen. It was really, honestly, like kind of beautiful, and we have such a similar creative process and creative brains, and I didn't really consider not even doing it because it was such an amazing idea and opportunity.
We had a long creative meeting. It was very collaborative. I was pushing her for certain things that were outside of her comfort zone, for sure.
That's James Cameron.
Co-directing with James Cameron, for sure. But not that it wasn't, an incredible experience, and he's so wonderful, and he was such an amazing collaborator with me and so open to my ideas, and he's just such a legend on his own, and getting to work with somebody like that was really special, and having someone like that want to co-direct with me was really insane. The process was really informative. I learned a lot, and so did he, and we worked really hard on it, and here we are. I have a really hard time not needing everything to be exactly what I want it to be, especially in a creative environment, which I think is a good thing in my creative life. But I think what was interesting about this was, my show is so important to me, and I worked really hard on creating that show years ago now, before the tour started, creating that show to be exactly what I wanted. And so to then have someone come in who wasn't part of that, I definitely was protective of it and felt scared of something changing it and something, someone not getting it or understanding it. And I think what was really amazing about the way that Jim was working with me was his ability to understand that and agree with that and want to capture that. And I think what was different than maybe another director might have been is somebody could have just come in and wanted to change everything and make it their own, and I'm a, famous director, so I get to decide, and I didn't care about that idea. I didn't want that. If that had been the idea, I would have said no. And I think what was so amazing about it was Jim's ability to capture something that really was so precious to me and want me to co-direct it. And I put a lot of focus and time into it, just the same way I do the show, because it is the show, and it's the same thing. It's just in a different platform, So it was the same amount of care, I think.
The fact that they've been sleeping there is so crazy. Should I post it and see?
Oh my God.
She's looking.
Oh my God, she's looking.
Oh no, here comes so many of them.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm such a fan, everybody knows it, and I will never be ashamed of it. I've always been a fan first since I was a little girl, and it's the only reason I do anything, It's the reason I make music is because I love music, and the reason I do anything is because I love the thing, or I liked when someone else did it. So therefore, I'm a fan, just the way anyone is if they like anything, And I think that's why it's so important to me to have my show be really just dedicated to the fans and for them, and an experience that they get to hold dear to them and remember forever, and why I wanted to make this movie. If it weren't for the fans, I wouldn't have made this movie, please. This is literally for them. It's the only thing that's interesting to me about having a career in the first place is my connection with the fans and the experiences that we share together. And I see myself in them, and I am that fan. And so, yeah, it just makes sense.